Hey guys, it's Antonio coming back with another video for the second official NBA 2K26 roster update from November 20th. So I've noticed that 2K, they drop roster updates every other Thursday, and I apologize that I'm a couple days late. But let me download the roster and get into the changes that I made um, in reference to the second 2K26 roster update. All right, and before I download the roster, I think before I started this channel, the downloads were at 216, and right now I'm at 321. So it's I appreciate you guys downloading the rosters and showing me love. So I just wanted to say that. And while I'm pulling up the roster, just like the first roster update, the second video I'm gonna go through um, all the rookie caps that I created using the 2K26 ratings. I already made their updates in this video just to make it go by faster. But I focused on their rating changes, whether there were increases or decreases, as well as badge changes and position changes. And for all active player on the roster, all players on the rosters, if they had a position change in the second update, I'm going to go ahead and make their changes. So the first player that we're going to start with is VJ Edgecombe. Already made his updates. In the second official 2K update, he went down 1 point. So he went from an 81 to an 80. In my roster, he went from a 79 to a 78. And he had 10 badges and he keeps 10 badges. As far as position changes for the 76ers, we had one, and that was for Paul George. He swapped back primary position small forward, secondary position power forward. And that's all we have for the 76ers. There were no changes for the Milwaukee Bucks or the Chicago Bulls. We did have one rookie increase, so I'll go through him, and that was for Tyrese Proctor. All right, and the official 2K second update, he had a +1. He went from a 69 to a 70. In my roster, he went from a 68 to a 69. He had 0 badges in the first update, and he keeps 0 badges. That's all we have for the Cavaliers. All right. So the next rookie update that we have is for Hugo Gonzalez, and I'm going to break down his update just a bit. So in the official 2K26 roster update, the second one, he went up 1 point, and he had a position change. So the position change is the main thing that I want to talk about. So he changed to a shooting guard from his primary position, a shooting guard, secondary position, small forward. In the first roster update, his primary position was a small forward, and his second position was a shooting guard. So in my roster, he stays the same. He was a 70 in the first roster update and a 70 in this update. And he did have an increase. But let me show you how the position change in 2K25 could also alter the overall. So as I stated before, in the previous roster, his primary position was a small forward. So you see he's at a 70 right now. If I change it to a small forward, secondary position shooting guard, he jumps to a 72. But since 2K, their second update, changed his position to a shooting guard, primary position to a shooting guard, secondary position to a small forward, his rating stays the same on my ratings. So he was a 70 in the first update, and he's going to remain a 70 in his update. I thought it would be important for me to go through that because some people may go through the roster and say, "Oh, he had an update," And he really did. But the position change is what affected his increase in his rating. All right, and we have one more position change for Ron Harper Jr. He swaps back to primary position small forward, secondary position shooting guard. That's all we have for the Celtics. Okay. So the next rookie we have that had an increase. So in the 2K second update, he went up 2 points. He went from a 68 to a 70. He also had a position change. His primary position is point guard now, and the secondary position is small forward. And in my roster, he actually jumped 4 points. And again, that's probably because the position change. I think in the first roster, I think he was a shooting guard, small forward. But he actually goes from a 66 to a 70 in my roster, jumping up 4 points. And he had 0 badges, and he keeps 0 badges. And there were 3 additional position changes. So let me go through those. All right, first one for Kobe Brown. He swaps back primary position small forward, secondary position power forward. Jordan Miller. He swaps as well, primary position small forward, secondary position shooting guard. And Cam Christie. He swaps as well, primary position shooting guard, secondary position small forward. That's all we have for the Clippers. All right, for the Grizzlies, we have 3 position changes. All right, starting with Jalen Wells. He swaps position. His primary now is a shooting guard, secondary small forward. Vince Williams. All right, so for Vince Williams, his primary position changes only. So his secondary position remains point guard. Primary position is changed to small forward. And then we also have Cam Spencer. He swaps primary position shooting guard, secondary position point guard. There we go. All right, next, the Atlanta Hawks. So we did have one rookie rating increase, and that was for Asa Newell. So in the second official 2K26 update, he went up 1 point, and that was from a 73 to a 74. My roster is the same. He went from a 73 to a 74. He had 1 badge, and he keeps 1 badge. All right, so the Miami Heat, they had 2 position changes. All right, start with Andrew Wiggins. He went primary position, he changed to a power forward, secondary position, small forward. And Norman Powell had a position change as well. He swapped. So his primary position now is a small forward, secondary position, shooting guard. All right, that's all we have for the Heat. All right, so we have 3 rookies that have changes and a couple of position changes. The first rookie we're going to start with is Con Knipple. And in the second update, Con Knipple now is the highest rated rookie, which I thought was interesting. But he has been playing pretty good. So first off, he had a position change. His primary position now is small forward, secondary position is shooting guard. I think in the first update, he was a shooting guard, secondary position small forward. However, in the 2K official update, he went up 3 points. So that was from a 79 to a 82. In my ratings, he actually jumped 4 points. He went from a 76 to an 80. He also had 9 badges, and now he has 11. So I made that change as well. All right, the next rookie is Ryan Colbrenner. So in the 2K26 second update, he went up 1 point. In their ratings, it was a 78 to a 79. Also in my update, he went from a 78 to a 79. So those ratings were pretty true to form. And we have one decrease for Sion James. In the 2K official update, he went down 1 point from a 76 to a 75. In my ratings, he was a 73 and he remained a 73. All right, so we have two additional player position changes. All right, start off with Colin Sexton. He swapped positions, so now his primary position is point guard, secondary position shooting guard. Same with Terrence Mann, he swapped as well. Primary position shooting guard, secondary position point guard. And that's it for the Hornets. All right, Ace Bailey, he got a 2 point increase in the 2K26 second update. So let me go through him really quick. All right, so in their update, like I said, he went up 2 points. He went from a 73 to a 75. In my ratings, he went up 2 points as well, but it was from a 72 to a 74. He had four badges in the first update, and he still has 4 badges now. And there were 2 position changes. So first one for Laurie Marketing, he swapped positions. He's back to primary position power forward, secondary position small forward. And Taylor Hendricks is the other guy. He swapped positions as well. Primary position now is small forward, secondary position is power forward. That's it for the Jazz. Didn't have any updates for the Kings. There was one position change for the Knicks. Now it's for Mikal Bridges. He swapped positions. His primary position now is small forward, secondary is shooting guard. That's it for them. Didn't have any updates for the Lakers or the Magic. All right, so for the Mavs, I made a swap. So as far as two ways, there in my original roster, I had Miles Kelly. He was a two-way. I moved him to the free agency pool, and I had Cisse. I had him in the free agent pool, but I put him on the Cavaliers. I'm sorry, I put him on the Mavericks. Excuse me. So I made a switch between them, and the reason why is because Cisse has been playing very well, and now he had a 4 point rating increase in the second update. So I made an executive decision, and I moved him to the active roster and put Miles Kelly in the free agency pool. You're more than welcome to change it back if you want, but I thought that the roster would, be a little bit more accurate because Cisse has been playing very well, and he is now his rating is higher than Miles Kelly. So I'll go through his update really quick. So, like I said, he went up 4 points in the 2K26 second update. His original rating was a 68. He went up to a 72. In my ratings update, he also went up 4 points, but it was from a 67 to a 71. He also had 0 badges in the first update. Now he has 4. So as CC, I added him to the Mavericks, and we also have 1 position change, and that's for PJ Washington. All right, PJ, he swapped positions. His primary now is a power forward. Secondary position is a small forward. And that's all we have for the Mavs. All right, so for the Nets, we have 2 rookie updates. They both were positive. So we'll start with Igor Denman. So in the 2K second official update, he went up 1 point, went from a 72 to a 73. In my ratings, he stayed the same. He went from a 72 to a 72. He had 4 badges, and he keeps 4 badges. The next rookie is Drake Powell. All right, so he went up 3 points in the official update. He went from a 70 to a 73. And he also has he had a badge increase. He went from 1 badge to two badges. In my roster, he went up 3 points as well, but it was from a 68 to a 71. And we have 3 position changes. All right, first for Wilson, he swaps positions. His primary is a power forward, secondary position, small forward. All right, Tyrese Martin. His primary position stays the same, shooting guard. His secondary position changes to point guard. And for Terrence Mann, he swaps position. His primary now is a shooting guard, secondary position, small forward. Yep, that's it for the Nets. All right, for the Nuggets, we have 3 position changes. So Peyton Watson, he swaps position. His primary now is a small forward, secondary, power forward. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a position change. He swapped as well. His primary position now shooting guard, secondary position small forward. And Bruce Brown had a position change. His primary position now is point guard, secondary position shooting guard. And that's it for the Nuggets. Pacers had 1 position change for Johnny Furphy. And he swapped positions. Primary now is small forward, secondary shooting guard. That's it for the Pacers. All right, for the Pelicans, we had 3 rookie changes and 1 position change. So first we'll start with Derek Queen. So in the 2K26 second official update, he went up 6 points, and he had a position change. He was a power forward, secondary position center. Now he's a center, secondary position power forward. So he went up 6 points, as I stated. In the official roster, he went from a 74 to an 80, and now he in my roster is a 73 to a 79. So he went up 6 points as well. He also had a badge change. He had 3 badges in the first update. Now he has 8. The second rookie that had an increase was Michael Peavy. In the second official update, he went from a 69 to a 71. And in my roster, he also went up. Well, no, actually, there was a two. That was a 2 point. So he had a 2 point roster update. I mean, 2 point roster rating in the official update from a 69 to a 71. In mine, he only went up 1 point from a 70 to a 71. He had 0 badges and he keeps 0 badges. Jeremiah Fears, he went down actually 1 point. All right, so in the official 2K second update, he went from a 78 to a 77. And in my roster as well, he went from a 78 to a 77. So the ratings were pretty consistent with Jeremiah Fears, and Sadiq Bey had a position change. And he swapped. Primary position now, power forward, secondary position, small forward. All right, that's it for the Pelicans. There were no roster updates for the Pistons or the Raptors. The Rockets had one position change for Josh Okogie. And he swapped. His primary now is a shooting guard, secondary is small forward. That's all we have for the Rockets. All right, as far as rookies, there were no updates, but Dylan Harper, he had a position change. He now is a point guard, shooting guard, and we have four additional rating changes. I'm sorry, four additional position changes. So we'll start with Steven Castle. He swapped position. His primary now is a shooting guard, secondary, point guard. Vassell swapped as well. He's a primary small forward, secondary position, shooting guard. Julian Champagny, he swapped as well. His primary now is a shooting guard, secondary is small forward. And Kelly Olynyk. His primary now is a center, secondary, power forward. So he swapped as well. And that's all we have for the Spurs. We had one position change on the Suns, and that was for Royce O'Neal. He swapped his primary position now is power forward, secondary small forward. That's it for the Suns. No update for the Thunder. No update for the Timberwolves either. And we have two position changes for the Trailblazers. First one is for David Advia. So he goes to primary position, small forward. Secondary position stays the same as shooting guard. And for Kamara, he swaps position. Primary position now is power forward. Secondary position, small forward. Yep. So that's it for them. Golden State Warriors, we have one rookie increase and a few position changes. So the first rookie increase, he also had an increase the last update, and that was for Will Richard. So in the second official 2K update, he went up 1 point. So he went from a 75 to a 76. my roster as well. He went from a 75 to a 76. He had 5 badges in the first update. He keeps 5 badges for this update as well. We had Jimmy Butler, Brandon Pozinski, and Draymond Green with some with some position changes. So let's get into those. So Jimmy Butler, primary position now, power forward, secondary position, small forward. Draymond Green, he swaps back. His primary position now is center, secondary position, power forward. Brandon Pozinski, he swapped as well. His primary now is point guard, secondary, shooting guard. That's it for the Warriors. And last but not least, the Wizards, we had one position change, and that was for Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, his primary position now is small forward, and his secondary position is power forward. And that's all I have for the second official 2K26 roster update. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for your time. Have a good one.